Okay, all right. Yeah, scooch in there so it both. All right, cool. So we were sidetracked and went off on what I would call a rabbit trail, talking about the Wiccan coming out. So let's talk about the
gayness.
The gayness. Yeah, let's talk about
the
that.
gaying, like that movie, The Happening, but the gaying.
Yeah.
So I think you guys. Well, no, there was one other person that I kind of came out to, but then after that, I didn't really come out anymore because I was like, "This is stupid. Straight people don't gotta do this." Mm-hmm. And so, I just got to the point where I was like, people can just find out. So I would say things like, "Yeah, my fiance, he was doing this and that," and then they're like, "Oh, he just said fiance and he."
Yeah.
Okay, he's gay.
Yeah.
And that's just how.
So rather than you started with everybody except for just a few of the first.
Yeah, and you and Mary were one of them. I told Mary, my stepmom, first before I told Dad because I was scared. And it wasn't that I was scared that Dad wouldn't accept it. I was just nervous, for the sake of nervousness, I guess. But I knew you would accept it. I knew the whole time that you were cool about it and would accept it. But I just still was scared. And maybe that's social awkwardness. Who knows? But
that had a big role to play in my eventual leaving of the church too.
Yeah, I know it did.
Was this whole thing. And I mean, I'm not trying to throw any. I'm glad things worked out.
Yeah,
I am. I'm glad to
be. But
people
ask me about my life, and I tell them that you used to be a preacher and stuff, and I'm the son of a preacher, and blah blah. Yeah. And then I tell them that you don't even really consider yourself Christian anymore, and we go off into that spill.
I don't.
And then they say, "Well, how did he get from being a preacher to where he's at now?" And I was like, well, I kind of accidentally corrupted him. And I was like, I didn't mean to.
No. I don't see it that way at all. If anything, you freed me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, that's what Lucifer fucking does
in
Satanism.
No. Well, maybe.
But
I am the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's work.
Well, you've read Anne Rice's book.
Yeah.
What's
all of them?
Maverick the Devil or something? Or
Maverick the Devil.
Why do I think it's Maverick?
It's Memnoch the Devil. No, Memnoch the Devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maverick. That's pretty. That's actually pretty close. I can forgive you that way.
And you said you should read this, Cole. It'll make you think weird thoughts about the devil.
Yeah.
And I don't consider myself satanic, like I said, but I find it very interesting and weird, especially now that I've escaped the clutches of Christianity.
Yeah.
But I like movies like. Have you seen The Devil? Where they're all
in the elevator, yes.
That was weird.
Yeah. What ends up, if you haven't seen that movie, give them a brief,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
Spoiler
that's
alert.
Good. That's good.
The old lady's the devil. But
okay, all right.
Anyway,
one of
she
them
dies
in the elevator,
quote unquote. So you don't think she's the devil, but she is. Old ladies are always the devil. But no. So that was a weird thing that I really liked. And then I liked Mark Twain's The Mysterious Stranger. Right. Have you ever read that?
No.
It's really, really good. You have to read it.
I will.
It's about these people who are just like their average Southern day Christians, and kind of so ignorant that they're open-minded, if that makes sense, because they're just like, oh, that's interesting, tell us more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so then they meet this guy, and he's acting weird to them, and then eventually he goes, oh, well, that's because I'm an angel. And they're like, what? And he's like, I'm an angel. And they're like, well, what's your name? And he's like, Lucifer. And then he's like, they get freaked out, and he's like, no, it's my uncle's name. I was named after my uncle. And they were like, oh, that's a weird name for an angel to have. And so they start talking to this angel who's the nephew of Satan, and they realize that even though he's still in heaven, and he's just named after his uncle, and he's still an angel of heaven, that he's still very fucking weird. He's like, do you want to sit down and hang out with me? We can create some humans if you like. And he's like, okay. And so then they make these little clay humans, and they make a little city, and they make a king and a queen and citizens and everything. And he's like, this is boring now. We can have an earthquake if you want. And they're like, what? And he just like raises his hands, and like this little city that they just made starts like shaking, and like everyone dying, and like he makes a tornado come, and blah blah, and they're just like, you're murdering them. What are you doing? And like he's just like, they're just humans. We can make some more.
We can make some
more. It's no big deal. Calm down.
Right.
The way we would treat ants in an ant farm.
Or here's this might be a rabbit trail. No, I don't. We can't. Okay.
We can't keep
focus.
rabbit
Focus.
trailing.
No more rabbit trails.
It's the wine.
I'm cutting that one. Yeah, I'm cutting that rabbit trail. Continue on track. What we were talking about? You coming out?
But just that you felt liberated from me.
Yeah.
Corrupting you is how I worded it.
Well, shortly after that, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this or not, but I probably have. Me and him have talked about just pretty much any topic. I've always felt comfortable talking with him about anything. In fact, I probably talked to him too much about stuff, like...
I don't think you do at all. I was actually going to say earlier that I feel like you doing that has made me the person I am who thinks about all this shit. It's almost like you casted a spell over me. You're like, I am going to talk to you like an adult, and then it's like, bam, you're an adult. You know all this stuff that I asked you questions about.
I appreciate that, bro.
But yeah.
Shooting out of that, I've done lost my trail of thought now.
You were saying that you were talking about me coming out, and that kind of like corrupted you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to tell this story about the church that I was at the time. So, the church I was at when Cole came out, I won't say the name, but it was in this place that I just hated it there. I really did. The whole experience was, there was a couple of families. There was a couple of families that were nice to us, but other than them, it was just a miserable experience for us the whole time because we'd made some mistakes early on in the way we interacted with some of the congregation, and it was a bad experience. But anyway, I kind of wanted to become like a advocate for homosexual people and that were looking to be in a regular Christian church, because there's a lot of homosexual people who do want to continue
are still Christian.
that faith.
I was hanging out with some today,
and so yeah, it's not easy to do, of course. Yeah. So anyway, I listed our church.
We were Methodists, by the way.
Methodist, yes,
yeah.
United Methodist.
And I remember this, what you're about to tell. You listed the church as a
friendly,
LGBT welcoming church.
A welcoming church, a friendly church.
That's what the Unitarian Universalist church that I go to is.
Yeah.
And it's like an official thing. It's like a document and everything. And like you said, you went on a website, listed it as that. Like, yeah. That's what you do.
So about a month later... Have I told you this before? Haven't?
Yeah.
About a month later...
They noticed you did that.
Yeah, somebody noticed it and called me and said, did you know that we're listed as a gay church? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Because we weren't listed as a gay church. We were listed as friendly and accepting.
That's what their ignorant mind conjured up.
But anyway,
if you're accepting of them, you're a gay
that's
church.
What it was. They had seen where I had listed us as accepting and friendly. And they didn't like that. And so I ended up having to, it was a regretful thing that I had to go ask to be removed from that list, And I hated doing that. And that was a turning point for me because even after that, I talked to some of those same people, and they had such barbaric ideas about what the Bible says about homosexuality. And in the Old Testament, I gotta say,
no, it flat out says a man will not lie with a man like it does with a woman.
In the Old Testament, it's not a good scene for
but
homosexual
my whole point
lifestyle.
is what's making us base our life off of this.
Exactly, and I don't think we should either. And so, if you go strictly by Old Testament, people who are homosexuals should be stoned. But not just homosexuals. There's a whole big list of people that ought to be stoned. Anybody who lies, who cheats, who steals, who commits adultery.
Animosity with Christians is because I'm still trying to get over that hatred for them having that in their holy book, even if they don't believe it. And I will admit that I get along with those Christians better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even if they don't believe it, I'm like, there are so many other religions out here.
Right.
Why are you still identifying as this? This is old. This is barbaric. This is caveman levels shit.
Well,
Like it. So I'm still trying to get over that.
yeah.
And me being with the Unitarian Universalist Church has kind of helped me with that. Like I've met some really nice fucking Christians, but it's still just like a trigger in me, I guess.
Yeah. All right. I tell you what, we're going to break it right here, and then this is definitely going to be a stopping point because I want Cole to talk about the Unitarian Universalist congregation that he's found and become a part of. I even went and visited once since we've been here, and which was the first actual Sunday morning church service that I had attended at all since I left the ministry.
It triggered you.
It did. It did a little bit. We'll talk about that in the next video, but we're going to end this one right here, so be sure to watch part 2 or 3 or whatever I'm up to.
Maybe part 2 should be on my channel.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Then people have to go to your channel to see part 1.
Right.
And then, yeah.
Let's do it that
Let's
way.
do that.
So part 2 will be on Cole's channel, and that's eclectic coat.
Eclectic coyote.
Eclectic coyote. I can't pronounce. I know what it looks like on the screen.
Think like eclectic, like electric, and then think coyote, like coyote.
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 Coyote. So you're kind of like the Roadrunner coyote guy.
An electric wall.
Electrified.
Yeah.
With an electric fence in each hand. All right. So we're going to continue drinking some wine, and we're going to talk some more about the Universalist Church in video 2. So check us out there. See you over at Cole's channel. Thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe and like and all that stuff. And talk to you later.
Bye.